Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is the newest TMNT film to come out in the TMNT franchise. I have not seen all of the movies that have come out from these characters in this series, but I've definitely seen most of them. I've seen all the ones from the 90s, the live action ones, the animated one in 2007, which I actually have a very fond memory. When I saw that, I saw it with my dad, and then my mom and my sister saw another movie on their own, so we kind of split off that day. That was pretty cool. And then I saw the first Michael Bay one. Never saw the sequel. Don't know if I ever will, but no, I'm kidding. I probably will at some point. We follow the four titular turtles: Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, Donatello. They are living their normal lives at the moment. We get quick glimpses of kind of what happened in the past, how they became who they are in their mutant form, and how they came across Splinter and how all of that came to be. But pretty much all the movie is set in the present, and we're kind of just thrown right into their normal daily routine, coming out of the sewers at nighttime to buy Go-Gurt, apparently. Word gets out about a particular criminal named Superfly who is trying to get a hold of this technology that would end up wiping out basically all of the human race and turn all animals and insects and whatnot into mutants, and the mutants would take over. So the turtles gotta try to stop them alongside the help of an aspiring journalist, a human that they come across and they befriend, I should say. Growing up, I was actually quite a big fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, especially that 2007 animated film. Was really into that. Like I said, saw it in the theater. I had toys of them that I used to play with and stuff. I don't remember keeping up with like the television shows too much. There were, several of them over the past, is it close to 40 years now? Maybe 35 years or so. And I've gotten enjoyment out of those as well, and out of some of the movies. I've been actually told by some people that I remind them of Donatello, I guess by the way that I speak and carry myself in some way, which sure, I'll take the compliment. I know it's a compliment because he's the smartest one out of them, arguably. But Leonardo was always my favorite. He was always my guy, so I kind of wish I was more like Leonardo, but it is what it is, I guess. This is by far the best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film that we've had so far, in my opinion. And I can't even talk about this movie without mentioning the animation because, surprise, surprise, I'm sure a lot of us saw the trailers. It does kind of borrow off of that rotoscope style that we've seen in other recent animated pictures. I had a particular love for the animation here, not only because it borrowed off of that aesthetic, but a lot of it felt hand-drawn to me. At least with the Spider-Verse films, you could tell it was a good blend of hand-drawn animation, quite a bit of CGI influence as well. But I genuinely could not tell how much CGI was in this. It felt like a lot of it was hand-drawn to me. Maybe rewatching it, I would notice more in certain spots, but most of it, I think, was hand-drawn. I don't know a synonym for hand-drawn, so I'm just going to keep saying hand-drawn, but loved it. I loved the work that the animators did here. Cartoon style, maybe that works as another word for hand-drawn. A lot of it was in a cartoon style. Also have to give a shout out to the actors who played the turtles in the film. Nicholas Cantu voicing Leonardo, Brady Noon voicing Raphael, Micah Abbey who voiced Donatello, and Shaman Brown Jr. who voiced Michelangelo. They all did a fantastic job here, and I love that they are teenagers and that they prioritized casting teenagers to play teenage characters, and they fit their roles all very well. And then of course Jackie Chan as Splinter, which is just great casting. It's awesome to hear him take on this kind of role, and I think he does a great job. And I love too that the film, at certain parts, we see characters not watching, but it's kind of insinuated that they watch these various movies and videos, maybe on YouTube, that display martial arts. And I think there were some Jackie Chan films in there. I think at times I saw him at glimpses of these movies that they showed. That was really funny, cool Easter egg there. One other thing that I really got a kick out of with this movie, no pun intended by the way, because of the song that this movie has been promoted alongside for most of the promotion, but the fact that the Turtles aren't really satisfied with their lives and they don't just love this routine of going out at night and doing things, but also, abiding by Splinter, not really having a lot of freedom, even though of course they do rebel and they stay out longer than they should. But it's realized very early on that they feel left out and they kind of want to be a part of the real world and want to live amongst humans, and they think that humans are kind of cool, even though they're taught that they're not cool and that they're evil by Splinter. When you're at that teenage stage of your life, that is a time when you do start to develop a curiosity and you kind of start to reconsider ideas that were just ingrained into your mind from an early age, or things that your parents taught you, and you start to wonder about other things and maybe reconsider some of your original beliefs. So I do just really like that they touched on that, and I won't go into detail, of course, but I can somewhat relate as well. I had some issues with regards to the character of Superfly, who's voiced by Ice Cube, who does a good job, by the way, and some of the other people he's surrounded by, well, not people, they're all mutants, but like Paul Rudd voices one of the characters, and he was really good. Kind of surprised to hear him change his voice in this way too. But one of my primary issues with his character is his motivation to develop this technology and use it with the goal of wiping out the human race, because he wouldn't be who he was in this form if it weren't for a human. At the very beginning of the movie, we see the guy that actually made this stuff called ooze, or at least they call it ooze, which transforms the Turtles into who they are and Superfly into who he is. And so the idea of him wanting to kill all humans and take over the world just didn't make much sense to me, because you wouldn't be here if it weren't for humans, dude. Like, it's the reason you are who you are and you're how you are. It just didn't make much sense to me. Overall, though, this was a really good time at the theater, actually. It was a quick, trim 100 minutes. Did not feel that long to me. I like how much heart there was in the story. And the action scenes I got quite a bit of enjoyment out of as well. Kudos to Jeff Rowe for that, the director of the film. Did a good job in those moments. Visually dazzled, was blown away by the animation here. And I got quite a bit of laughs out of it too. At times, not so much, and I think it does play into that teenage humor at certain moments, and you could excuse it because they are teenagers, and so that's why they're trying to do that, to appeal to younger audience. But I'm not a teenager anymore. I'm past that age, so at times it was kind of rolling my eyes. Like, of course they're gonna go for those kinds of jokes. And they do that thing again that movies, these kinds of action movies, superhero, blockbuster type films, I know this is different from that, like from Marvel and DC, but that same thing where a character becomes like overpowered towards the end, becomes this big figure of sorts, and God, it was such a generic route to go down to. I like the last leg of the film, and I like the last action scenes that we get. They were enjoyable, but man, like, they could have been better if it didn't go down such a predictable route with the villain. Really enjoyed this movie overall, more than I thought it would. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. I've heard they're going to be doing a spin-off TV series of this show. I look forward to that. Honestly, I do really want to check that out, especially if it is the same cast here. I'm down for that. If it's the same writers involved, I'm down for that. Totally, I would totally watch that. But let me know what you think of this movie. You have seen it by now, and what your favorite TMNT film is, or favorite show, if you've seen any of those. As far as the TV incarnations of this goes, for me it's got to be the original, the OG one that was just called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Ran for nearly a decade, and I've enjoyed that, the parts that I have seen of it. But then, yeah, like I said, I think this is the best film yet, and I'm very curious to know what you guys think. But till further notice, thank you for watching. Peace out. Nicholas Cantu voices Leonardo. Brady Noon, who voices Raphael. Nicholas Cantu, who plays Leonardo. Micah Abbey, who plays Raphael. Damn it! Nicholas Cantu, who voiced Leonardo. Brady Noon, voicing Raphael. Oh my god. Micah Abbey, Shaman Brown Jr. Nicholas Cantu, Brady Noon, Micah Abbey, Shaman Brown Jr.